Hey guys, welcome to Smock Shop, Episode 1, SK51. Roll the intro. Alright guys, so I am going to try and bump my video quality up here a little bit. Doing the best I can. Want to get back to doing YouTube. If you guys follow me on Instagram, or if you're on Instagram at all, you know that the new way they're doing everything, the algorithms, if you don't have a huge channel or you're not paying them, you're really not getting seen. And you're not getting seen in the order that you post stuff. I've even looked at my, down through the feed, and it'll show on there posted, like 10 hours ago, and then 2 hours ago, and then 4 minutes ago. So they're not going in order as the way things are being posted anymore. I know I'm following about 1,000 different people, and I see like the same 10, 15 people every time I log in. And I don't have time to log in and go through 100 or 200 posts. I'll just log in, go through the first 20 or so and see what guys are up to, and it's usually the same 10 or 15 people. So I know I'm following a lot of people and I'm not seeing any of your guys' stuff. So I have a feeling that that's being done to me too. I'm sure a lot of guys aren't seeing my stuff, which is honestly kind of depressing, because between YouTube and Instagram, that's kind of how I got to be where I'm at. You guys following, you guys taking orders, or placing orders, I should say. But at any rate, so I want to do, like I said, get back into doing YouTube videos, and the first one that I'm going to do is on the SK51. SK51, which I've got a prototype here, was pretty much designed to be a camping knife, and the name behind it, SK51, all my names have got, the numbers have got a reason behind them. I'm not very good at naming, calling it whatever, so that's why I do the number system. But the 51, that's the year my parents were born, and as a kid growing up, we went camping like every weekend. And it was usually for competition shooting, so I shot competition, and so did they from I was 8 till I was 16. But we would go and camp when we did that, and I had camping knives back then and that kind of thing. So I wanted to do a knife, and I wanted to kind of name it after them and for all the camping and stuff that we did. So I went through and I looked at a lot of bushcraft videos and looking at a lot of bushcraft knives, and there are a lot of guys out there that have been doing it for a long time, know what they're doing, and they make excellent knives for that segment, bushcraft, camping, that kind of thing. But I wanted to try it. I wanted to give a shot at it. So this is the first design that I've come up with. I absolutely love it, and I wanted to walk you through why it's designed the way that it is, show it to you. And granted, it's a prototype, so it's not the final. The grinds I might change a little bit. The handle materials can be different things. I haven't settled on a sheath yet. I think I'm going to try and do a Kydex sheath and a leather sheath. We'll see. So here is the knife. And I've got a new light here that goes around on my tripod stand to help illuminate my face and whatever I'm showing you. So it's going to be a little bit of a learning experience for me to make sure that I'm showing you guys things and getting the camera to focus. So you'll have to excuse me. So the blade is 6 inches long. The handle is going to come in 2 different sizes. This is going to come in a junior and a senior. So it's going to be an SK51 junior or an SK51 senior. The blade length is not going to change with the junior or the senior. It's the handle length that's going to change. And my dad and I aren't like a junior or senior. We've got different names. But the junior fits me because, hey, I'm a smaller guy. That's just how it is. And the junior, which is what this one is, fits my hand perfectly. The senior is going to be, I think it's like a ½ an inch longer. So the handle length is like, maybe it's like 3/4 of an inch longer. The measurements right now are not critical because I'm not putting these up for sale yet. This is just me showing you. I only had time to make a prototype. I've got some blanks cut out, because if you're going to cut one, you might as well cut 4 or 5 of them. I need to do testing on this to make sure that the grinds are doing what I want them to do. Make sure that the handle's comfortable. I want to make sure that it's right. So before I start selling them, I need to do some testing. And that's why I did this one. I've got orders to fill and things to do, so this didn't take me very long. I rushed through it. I just kind of wanted to get the grinds and get a simple handle on here so that I could do testing. I'm going to do some initial testing myself and hopefully put that on video in another video. And I might even send this to a couple friends and have them beat the piss out of it and give me feedback before I start taking any kind of orders. So I probably will not be producing this until early to mid 2018, next year. Plan on having some for Blade Show. So pretty much let's walk through the design here a little bit. Obviously it's got a G10 peel ply handle on here. I picked orange just because I like orange. That way if you drop it you can see it. But it can be just about anything. You know, I can do wood, carbon fiber, G10, whatever you're going to want. It's got a lanyard hole in here. I personally don't like lanyard holes when it comes to pocket folding knives, but for fixed blades, they're completely reasonable to put a lanyard hole in there. It's got 2 screws in here. It's not epoxy down. I want these handles to be able to be taken off and changed or replaced or whatever in case you need to. Also, I didn't put Torx bit screws in here. I put regular Phillips head screws. Just so that way that if you're out in the field and the handle needs tightened down, I'll Loctite these screws before it ships out. But just in case, most people, you've got a Phillips head. You know, if you're out camping or whatever, you probably have a Leatherman or a multi-tool that's going to have this. I don't want you to have to worry about looking for a Torx bit. Even though the Torx bit looks cooler, I don't. This is kind of designed purpose first, looks second, and that's how I designed this knife. So the handle though is very comfortable. You've got a finger choil here, and so that way your hand doesn't slip down the blade. You know, if you're stabbing something or whatever, you don't have to worry about your hand sliding down. Then it's also got a finger area up here so that you can move up if you need to do some finer, closer work. It's got some jimping down here, and it's recessed so your thumb can sit in there. Then obviously it's a compound double grind. So this area here is hollow ground, and this, to be honest, this is my first knife that I've ever hollow ground, and this is the first knife I ever did a compound grind on. So we're hollow ground here and we're flat ground up here. And there was a reason for that. One, you know, it looks cool, right? Two, the hollow grind up here, I wanted this area to do finer work, you know, so that if you're, if you're camping and you're trying to make like a little bird's nest, or, you know, so that you can start a fire, you're trying to make little shavings. I think this would be great for that, and that's kind of what this area is for. And it's curved, so it should. Again, I got to do testing, but that's kind of why this was the way that it is. Then the end of this is hollow ground, and I ground this so that it stopped here and then transitioned, which the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to continue this grind the whole way out, because then I can bring this flat grind up a little bit higher. I did want it up a little bit higher so that it's a little bit thinner, but I don't want it too thin. The goal here isn't to have it ground the whole way to the end so that the blade's thin. I want this thing to be sturdy and tough so that you can pound through crap with it. So this area here is good for like if you need to do like skinning, slicing something, you know, this area is perfect for that. Also, the tip is pretty much centered down the center of the blade. It's nice and sturdy. I could have did another bevel back here, but I didn't want this tip getting too thin. I wanted it to be nice and sturdy so that if you need to stab through something, hell, I'm even going to try throwing this. I used to throw knives again, when we were doing shooting and competitions. Used to throw knives as a kid, so I kind of want to check out and see if this thing is balanced enough that it can be thrown and used that way. If not, no big deal. It's not a primary goal of the knife, but I did want a nice sturdy tip on there. So then the other thing is this section right here. There's obviously a transition point, okay? And a lot of the bushcraft knives that I saw when I was doing a little bit of research, a lot of them are kind of, they're flat and then they come up on the end, or they're curved the whole way. Well, if you're trying to baton through wood, which is a completely reasonable task when you're camping, and if you don't know what that is, I have to get some wood. I don't have any wood to show you, but we'll just use my water bottle as an example. So if the blade is flat going across the blade part of it and you're pounding from the top, you're trying to push that whole flat surface through the top of that piece of wood all at once. Whereas this has got a transition point. It's actually got like a point there. So I'm hoping, and two different grinds, I'm hoping that if you need to baton through wood, you put this on your wood like that, and it will go through the piece of wood easier. That's kind of why I was really looking to have a point here. We'll see if it works. I haven't tested it yet, and again, that'll probably be in a different video. But I wanted to show you the concept behind the design. So that's why that point is there. And then I made the top nice and flat, so that you can hit on it with another piece of wood or whatever to baton through a piece of wood. So that's kind of why the grind is the way that it is, why the shape is the way that it is. Everything was kind of thought out, purposeful. Now granted, I haven't gone camping in forever, and I haven't had to baton through wood, and I can't even remember the last time I've had to do that. So I'm just going off of old memories and what I know. So I might be wrong. You might be a bushcraft guy and go, no, that doesn't make any sense because of whatever. And if that's the case, please leave a comment below. Let me know. Give me your feedback. That's kind of one also reason why I'm putting this video up, is to get some feedback. And obviously I've got to do some testing on it. So we'll do some testing and see how it goes. And if I need to change something, I need to change something. And again, I'm still using my iPhone, so the camera's over there, the screen's over here, so I'm sorry if my eyes are going back and forth, but I'm trying to see if it's focusing or whatnot to give you a good picture of the knife. And the grinds turned out really good. I'm happy with them. And I didn't go for a real fine. I only took it to 220. Just again, this is going to be a testing knife. I'm going to beat the piss out of it. It doesn't need to look great. And if any guys, if you want to get one of these knives, I haven't decided whether I'll eventually take orders for them or if I'm just going to do a batch of them and put them up for sale. That is likely how it's going to go, is I'm going to do a batch of them and just put them up for sale on the website. I'll let all you guys know when that happens. And I'll probably make some of them a little bit fancier, a little bit nicer for a collector, for a guy that just wants to own one and carry it, mess around with it and not beat the piss out of it. And then I'll make ones that are not so pretty looking, that if you scratched it and screwed it up, it's not a big deal. That's the purpose of the knife. So this is the SK51. I'm going to work on a Kydex sheath for it, and my girlfriend is a crafty girl, and she's going to try and make a leather sheath for it, and she might get into making leather sheaths for any of my knives, which will be really, really cool. They won't necessarily be cheap, they're not going to be a $15 sheath, but because she's going to be making them by hand, but at least that'll give you guys an option, because I don't mess with leather right now. But yeah, looks great. I love this thing. And I wanted to do this video before I went out and did testing and beat the piss out of it, because I wanted to show you what a kind of standard one looks like. And again, there's the size difference, which is not much. So junior on the bottom, senior on the top, just a little bit longer of a grip. So you can see my hand. I'm 5'5", and it's obviously too long for me. This one here fits me good, and there's a little bit extra, and that's supposed to be there so that you've got space for your lanyard is not hitting your hand. And then also this bottom here is flat, so that if you needed to do any kind of pounding or anything, you're able to do that. So all right guys, I got to get back to work, working on custom orders that some of you may have placed. I'm still busting ass working on that stuff, but this only took me a couple hours to get one of these ground, and it was interesting to do, and I've been really wanting to do this. I always have to prototype something way before I expect to actually sell any, because I've got to do my own testing and that kind of thing. So that's next. We're gonna go beat some shit, chop some wood. All right, guys, let me know what you thought of the new intro. Put that together really quick. Thought it was kind of cool. Didn't want a big long thing, but wanted something. Wanted to class the channel up a little bit, and that's it. That's episode 1. I'm calling it the Smock Shop series, and that's where we're just going to talk about shop stuff, whether it be knives, gear, grinding, how I stonewash, all that kind of stuff. That's going to be in that kind of a series. And then I plan on doing review stuff, so that won't be a Smock Shop video, but it'll be a review video on whatever. So that's it, guys. Oh, and also, if you're wanting to get some shirts, they are on spreadshirt.com. I think it's shopspreadshirt.com/Smock Knives. I'm doing it that way because instead I don't have to order 20 or 30 shirts and then try and sell them out. I've got the designs up there. You pick out whatever you want, you order it, and it comes. You can buy one and it'll get shipped directly to your house, and I don't have to do anything with it. And you guys can still get a cool shirt, and you can order as many as you want. You can order them whenever you want. So that's kind of cool. So all right, guys, talk to you later. See ya.